Welcome back, Squid Squad! We are so excited to have you here today because we are about to go on an adventure together. Now, I know every day of the week with Squid Squad is an adventure, but today in particular, you and I get to go on a virtual whale watch. Now, my name is Dana, and I'm a member of the education team here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, and I'm a naturalist out on the ocean. Now, what that means is when I go out on the ocean, I'm the person who gets to tell you all about the wildlife that you're seeing as well as what else is going on around the boat. And it's one of my favorite parts of my job. So I'm so excited to have you all here today to learn as much as we can about what it's like to go on a whale watch and what we might see, what we might get to explore. I think my mic is falling off here. One moment, everyone. All right. So we get to explore all these really amazing things. Okay, I think we're back in action here. So, I have my exploring tools ready to go. Now, I'm going to bring my binoculars, okay? I might also bring a phone to take pictures, all right? And this is really what I bring out with me whenever I'm on a whale watch boat. I sometimes bring a really big camera because we actually do research here at the aquarium. But if you've got anything like this, you're all set. Now, if you don't have your binoculars, the amazing thing about a virtual whale watch is you can take one hand, fold it up, take the other hand, fold it up, and there you go, my friends. They work just as well as the binoculars I just had, and you can focus really, really well on the screen in front of you, okay? So, go ahead, get those binoculars ready. Get your phone or camera ready. It can be this too. This takes really great photos. And if you want to participate and join us today by telling us your observations or asking any questions, just like you might on a whale watch boat, we actually have a phone number that allows you to do that. Now, that phone number is going to be 562-286-1838. And I am joined in the studio today by Cynthia, who's going to be exploring whales with us. She's going to control what we actually come across to see. Now, you can think of Cynthia as the captain, all right? She's going to be out there looking for the whales kind of out ahead of us and preparing us for what's next. Now, I'm also joined by Sarah. And Sarah's going to be taking the questions that you had text into that line there and sending them in to me. You can kind of think of her as like the, the connection between me, who might be in the wheelhouse really, really cold, and a guest outside. Sarah can take the question from the guest and bring it into me because I'm a wimp and I don't like getting cold, right? And it can get really windy on a boat. Of course, that's all fake. I love being on the boat. I love the wind. So I'll also just try to answer all your questions as best as I can right here. All right. So once again, text those questions to 562-286-1838. Now, make sure you have adult permission before texting, okay? Because standard text rates do apply. Now, if you're watching and joining us for this virtual whale watch outside of our regular streaming hour or half hour, which is Tuesday, August 11th from 10 to 10:30 in the morning, you can always ask your questions afterwards. We have an address down here, an email address. It's live@lbaop.org. And that's where we'll be answering those questions after our live stream. All right, Squid Squad, are you ready? Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we have to go get on the boat. So make sure you have your binoculars, maybe string them around your neck. Got your cameras ready. Okay, we're all set, ready to go. I recommend closed-toed shoes on a boat. But you know what? We're going on a virtual whale watch. Kick those shoes off and get comfortable. Then we're going to go step on board. All right, so ready? Okay, let's walk down to the dock. The dock makes a lot of noise, so it's more going to be like, right? And now we're going to get on the boat. Okay. Oh, I love it. We've got Emma, Joshua, and Grandpa tuning in. We've got Evelyn joining us on this whale watch. I think we're going to have a very lucky day. All right, so we're on board. Everybody get the best seat. Best seat. Okay? Got the best? You got the best seat? All right, we got the best seat. Let's go. Now we're going to go out on the open ocean. Okay? We're going to explore what's going on. Now, the way this is going to work is we're going to be looking for different indicators that might tell us there's a whale out there. Okay? Because when we get on board, look around you. You're out on the surface of the ocean. Oh, there it is. What do you see? Not a whole lot, right? But as we cruise around, we're going to be looking for three main things that might tell us there's whales nearby. Now, one of them is going to be splashing from dolphins. Dolphins are really social animals, and so they might be grouped up together and porpoising through the water. Now that means they come out of the water and in and out and in, right? And it creates splashing, just like this photo right here. And you can see there's another one back here. Ooh, and there's another one right up here. So you can imagine if you're looking from a distance that there's just a lot of little splashes. Now another indicator is going to be diving birds. But Dana, why are we looking for birds if we're wanting to see whales, right? Well, what do you think? Why do we look for birds if we're actually looking for whales? Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. They're looking for food together. So diving birds and seabirds and whales and dolphins often feed on very similar things. Small fish, squid, krill. It's a little plankton animal. And these animals can draw in all sorts of critters. So if we see a bunch of birds diving down into the water, it's a really good sign that there's something bigger down below. So keep an eye out for those diving birds. Now, the last thing we're going to look for, which is, it's my favorite. We're going to look for the large blow of a whale in the distance. And it's going to sound a little something like this. Ready? It's going to go, and it's going to come off the surface of the water just like that. It looks like a big plume of smoke or steam coming off the surface. And what it is it's the warm exhale. Oh, we got some really great questions coming in. It's a warm exhale hitting the cooler air. All right, so let's do this, Squid Squad. We are about to the boat. Now, Evelyn and Salvador want to know, which boat are we going on? Obviously, I rented out the best boat. In fact, it's even named after us. Okay? And it is the Squid Squad Spectacular Whale Watch boat. Ship. Pretty great, right? The Squid Squad Spectacular Whale Watch boat ship. That is the boat that we're on today. Now, Caleb wants to know, what do humpback whales eat? Great question, Caleb. Maybe on this journey today, we will get to see a humpback whale, and we can chat a little bit more about that. If we don't come across a humpback whale, we never know what we're going to come across. Then I'll try to answer that question at the end. And Noah and Jonah and Kaylee are all on board. All right, my Squid Squad, let's go! Okay, so remember, we're looking for those 3 indicators that there might be a large animal down below. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of water. Ooh, don't forget, when we're on a boat, we're going to feel the motion of the ocean. So go ahead and rock back and forth a little bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't see anything over there. Wait a second. Let me get my binoculars. Okay. Oh. All right, my friends. I think I see the blow of a whale in the distance. Do you want to go find out what it is? All right. Let's go ahead and zoom up to that. So, pull those binoculars out. All right. What do we see here? All right. Oh my gosh! Whoa! We don't even need binoculars for this one. My friends, this is Dana's, mine, all-time favorite dream animal. It's the best animal ever. I'm really biased, but I love orca whales. Now, orcas, also known as killer whales, are one of our toothed whale species. Now, toothed, don't all whales have teeth? No. So some whales, like our orca, is actually the largest of the dolphin family. They have teeth in their mouth, just like you and I. Everybody smile. Let me see your pearly whites. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. Great teeth. Now, our orca whales have teeth that look a little something like, let me find it. Dun, 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 dun. Like this. Like that. Now, this is a pretty good tooth, right? It's sticking out. That's what they're going to be eating their prey with. But just like our teeth have roots, look how long the orca tooth is rooted, right? So you can imagine that they're going to be eating some pretty crazy cool things with these teeth. Now, there are 2 kinds of orcas. Well, there are 3, but we're going to talk about 2. One of them is a transient orca, also known as a Biggs killer whale. Now, all that means is that they're the mammal eaters, and they like to travel in small groups that can go pretty far distances. So they use their teeth to eat mammals, right? So seals and sea lions. In fact, sometimes we come across seals and sea lions on our whale watch trips. Let's keep our eyes out. Now, other orcas are known as resident orcas, and they are the fish eaters, okay? They have pretty similar teeth. They're all orcas. But our fish eaters, you're right, they eat fish. Now, we do have a couple questions. Emma wants to know, why are whales so big? That's a great question and a really good observation. So orcas like this, the females can grow to be about 25 feet or so, but the males can grow to be about 30 feet. They're really big whales. In fact, they're really big dolphins, right? Remember, toothed whales, that includes our dolphins like our orca. And they are the largest of the dolphin family. But there are other whales called baleen whales. Now remember, we were talking about the toothed whales and we were talking about non-toothed whales. Other whales have this really incredible stuff. And we're not going to look at a photo yet because we haven't come across one yet. But this is baleen. It's a hair-like structure that hangs down from the roof of their jaw. So, everybody, imagine if you had a mustache. Everybody, let me see your mustache. You have a mustache right here, okay? But take that mustache and put it inside your mouth instead of your teeth. Pretty crazy, right? But what that does is it filter feeds out food. So they take a big gulp of water and food, and then they push all the water through the baleen, right? That hair-like mustache, and then the fish or other food stays inside, and all the water goes out. Very different than our toothed whales, all right? So we've got our toothed orca. Now, so our whales can get so big, Emma, because they are living in this really big ocean, right? And so they have all sorts of space to grow. They also feed on a lot of really nutrient-rich food to get really big. So just like elephants can be big or mice can be small, animals can be varying sizes. Now, Michaela wants to know, what happens if we see a shark? That's a great question, Michaela. Now, I want to talk about whether or not we will see a shark and why we might or might not. So when you look at this animal right here, our killer whale, how does this animal breathe? Do they have gills? It doesn't look like it, right? We might need to pull out our binoculars for that. Let's look. All right. I don't see gills. Do you? Okay. So our mammals, like our whales, our dolphins, our porpoises, our seals, our sea lions, they are mammals just like you and I. And we all have lungs. Take a deep breath with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, even though our whales live in the ocean, they still have lungs and breathe air. So they have to come up to the surface every now and then to take a breath of air. Let's pull up a photo of a shark if we've got one. I know I'm keeping, Cynthia's like, I thought we were going whale watching. So she'll pull up a photo of a shark here in a moment. And I want you to look. Do sharks have gills? Do they breathe underwater? Do they breathe air? Okay, maybe close your eyes for a second. Picture your sharks. Well, I don't think they're breathing air, but let's take a look. Let's see if we can recognize any gills. Aha. So these lines right here are not just decorative racing stripes. Those are actually, they're gill slits. So sharks are a type of fish, a really big fish in this case, but sharks use their gills to breathe. I haven't done the last one. So sharks use their gills to breathe. Now, because of that, sharks don't have to come to the surface of the water very often. And even though we're out on a boat on the ocean, we are still on the surface. So if a shark, like a great white right here, happens to come up to the surface of the water, then maybe we'll get to see it. But it doesn't happen often enough that we take you out on shark watching boats. Does that make sense? So whales have to come breathe at the surface. All right, now Daniel wants to know, is the blow bigger if the whale is bigger? What do you think, Daniel? If a mouse had a little blow, or a blue whale, which is the largest animal on Earth, had a blow, which one's going to be bigger? Yeah, definitely the blue whale. In fact, that photo that Cynthia brought up right in the beginning when we were talking about blows, that, I think it was on that one, yeah. That was an example of a blue whale blow right here. And blue whales can reach over 110 feet, which is crazy. That's the biggest they get. Typically off of our coast, we only see them around 90 feet or so, but their blows can still reach about 15 feet in the air. So when we're out there on the water and it looks like it's just water, keep an eye out for those blows. In fact, Daniel, it sounds like you're local, right? Maybe a little bit more south. you get blue whales off of your coastline as well. All right. Now we've got, is that Videtta and Carolina want to know what type of whales do we normally see in Long Beach? Great question. So we get blue whales just like this. We also get humpback whales, which remember, we're going to keep an eye out for later. We have orcas every now and then, maybe a couple times a year. We also have a lot of other dolphin species. We have bottlenose dolphins, Pacific white-sided dolphins, Risso's dolphins, that's another favorite of mine. We have fin whales. We every now and then get a Brutus whale. These are all crazy whale names, right? So we're not going to be able to explore all of, oh my gosh, we have so many questions. This is great. We're not going to be able to explore all of them today, but we have lots and lots of species. Now, Tony Reeves wants to know, what is the white spot on the area by the head? Let's bring up that breaching orca again. This is not the eye. Common misconception. The eye is actually right here, okay? But a lot of scientists think that that white spot helps orcas communicate. So our mammal-eating orcas, they are hunting pretty intelligent prey, right? A seal or a sea lion. And so they don't want to communicate a whole lot underwater using noises. They think that the coloration on orcas like this allows them to move nice and swift through the water. And if I'm an orca and I'm swimming and I see my friend's white patch right over here, I know they're there. And, oh, I see another white patch right there. I know my friends are there. And we're going to take down this seal or sea lion together so you can see it right there. Now, this orca right here, that is a large male orca. And I know because the dorsal fin is really straight and really tall. In fact, we talked about whale sizes earlier. That dorsal fin can be 6 feet tall. My friends, that is bigger than me, okay? And so orcas can be quite large dolphins. Now, Bree wants to know, do orcas eat sharks? Good question, Bree. So I mentioned the mammal eaters, right? Our seals and sea lions. I mentioned the fish eaters. They like to eat salmon. Now, there is a third group. They're called offshore orcas. Now, we don't know a whole lot about them, but they have been documented to eat sharks. Pretty crazy, right? Now, Noah and Jonah want to know, do they, orcas, eat humans since we're mammals? Great question, Noah and Jonah. I want you to think about this for a second. Do we live in the ocean? No. So are we typically on the menu for killer whales or orcas? No. In fact, there's never been a documented case of an orca eating a human, right? Now, I got a crazy one for you, though. I said we don't live in the ocean, right? Pretty solid argument. But do you know what orcas have been documented eating? This might blow your mind. I want a really good reaction out of you all, okay? I want it to be like, whoa, who knew? All right, drum roll. Orcas eat moose. Moose! Like, moose. So moose up in Alaska are known to swim between islands. And orcas have, in fact, been seen eating a moose. Pretty crazy. Now, Isabel and Dakota want to know, why do whales jump out of the water? Great question. So this is going to be our last orca question because I think I might see another whale in the distance here. Now, let's see. Orcas and other whales might jump for a handful of reasons. First of all, I want you to think about the jump. Ready? That was a really loud noise hitting the surface of this water. And that's one way that whales can communicate. Now, another reason that they might jump, oh, look at all the, oh, I love them. Look at all the orcas. Now, another reason that they might jump is to clean their body off. Now, they don't have hands. If you notice these orcas as they swim around, oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to make me quit my job and move to Alaska and go watch whales all the time. Okay, so you can see that they don't have hands, but instead they jump and hit the surface of the water so that they can slough dead skin cells off and maybe even parasites, things that live on their body. Another reason, ooh, see the white patches? Remember we talked about communication earlier. So another reason that we might think they jump is just for fun, right? They're very social animals. You can see they're all living together, swimming in a big group. And then last but not least, I shared this on my last class as well. My favorite reason that a 4-year-old taught me when I was on a whale watching boat is that whales jump to dry off, which kind of makes sense, right? Because we get wet when we jump in the water. Maybe they're jumping out to dry off. All right, my friends. Now, let's go back to that open ocean and make sure that we're looking in all different directions. Grab those binoculars. Let's go explore. Okay, I am still seeing a breaching orca, and this is pretty crazy. Maybe they're doing something and they're really social and they're all communicating. Oh, okay, what else do we see? Not a whole lot going on over there. Huh. I'll step out so maybe you can look. All right. So, we're going to take a moment and we're going to wrap up a couple questions here. Megan wants to know, what are the mammals that orcas eat? Good question. So, Megan, they typically will feed on seals and sea lions, sometimes moose, right? Sometimes sea otters as well. Now, Noah and Jonah want to know, when baleen whales strain water out to get food, does it go out their mouth or through their blowhole? Great question, Noah and Jonah. We're actually coming up on a baleen whale here pretty soon. Keep those binoculars ready because it's in the distance and it might take us a while to get over there. But we're going to come up and we'll explore what it looks like when they feed. Now, Caden wants to know, how big is a blue whale's stomach? Oh my gosh, Caden, so big. Blue whale stomachs can hold 3.6 metric tons of krill. Now, those are a lot of really big numbers, but basically it means 4 tons of krill every single day. Now, a ton is 2,000 pounds, which means blue whales can eat 8,000 pounds of krill every day. Now, remember, krill's that big. 8,000 pounds. That's a lot. All right, get those binoculars ready. Let's see if we've got anything in the distance here. Okay, we're looking. Oh my gosh. Okay, I see some water. Oh, wow. But what is it? What do you think that might be? It's not an orca because I don't see that really tall dorsal. Let's look a little harder. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay, there's like a hump on its back. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was so cool, everyone. Look. Oh, first of all, let's give Cynthia a round of applause for that transition. That was flawless. All right, everyone. So this is my second favorite thing to see on a whale watch trip. Now, this is the fluke of a humpback whale. Now, humpbacks are a type of baleen whale. So, Noah and Jonah, you wanted to know what it looks like when a humpback whale or any baleen whale strains food out. So these things right here, these are called their ventral pleats. Do you see those lines? Okay. Their whole throat expands. And then they take in a gulp of all the food and all the water. This is the baleen right here. Okay. So as the throat closes, they use their really strong tongue to push all the water out through their baleen. And so the water comes out of their mouth, right? Their throat closes and all the food is stuck inside. Pretty incredible. Now, humpback whales get their name because of the hump on their back. They don't have a typical dorsal fin like a lot of our whales, such as our, such as our orca that we were looking at before. Even blue whales typically will have a little bit more of a dorsal fin. Now, humpbacks have this little hump right here. Okay. They're known for their really, really long pectoral fins, which is right here. The pectoral fins are on the side. They have those pleated throat grooves right here, which allows their throat to open up and expand. Okay. And they're significantly larger than our orcas that we were looking at earlier. So we're so excited. We got to see a dolphin, a toothed whale. We got to see a baleen whale, which is a little bit bigger. Now, orcas are about, 25 to 30 feet, I said? Now, our humpback whales can be anywhere from 40 to 55 feet. So a pretty big range. 55 is the largest, maybe a little bit more. But we have a question from Megan, and Megan wants to know, how do whales swim? Well, take a look at this photo here, Megan. See this big, strong part of that whale's body? That is called the caudal peduncle. A really fun word, but it's the muscle that controls the fluke, or the whale's tail. So everybody go like this. Create the fluke of a whale. The tail. And now your arms, your forearms here, those are like the caudal peduncle. And they're going to go like this. Whoosh. 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 And so this really strong muscle here is what allows that whale to move through the water. It's also what's allowing that whale to do a full breach, right? Now, Reeves wants to know, why do they have bumps on their head? Great observation, Reeves. Let's go back to that photo where its mouth is open and we can see a little bit more detail. You might need your binoculars. Let's take a look. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Definitely. Yeah. Okay, like the bumps right here. Yeah. So, great observation. Now, whales are mammals. Okay, remember we talked about the lungs earlier on. But what other characteristics makes a mammal a mammal? Well, they're air breathers, right? They have lungs. Remember, we're mammals. What characteristics make us a mammal? Oh, interesting. Cynthia is pulling at the hair on her head. That's right. Mammals actually have hair. Now, when we look at humans, that's easy, right? We got hair on our arms, we got hair all over our bodies, we have hair on our head. Maybe you have someone in your family who lost their hair, but they're still a mammal. Now, whales, even though we typically think of them as kind of like a rubbery, smooth texture, whales are mammals, which means they do in fact have hair. Now, these little bumps up here are actually hair follicles. There's little hairs that come out of all of those little bumps. They're called tubercles. Now, on babies, that is not a baby. But on babies, like baby dolphins and baby whales, they have a lot of hair on their rostrum right here. Their rostrum is what we call their nose. And it is used to tickle mom. Ready? Tickle, 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 tickle. And what they do is they tickle mom to have mom produce milk. That is another characteristic of mammals. They nurse their young, right? So they have hair. They nurse their young. They're air breathers. Mammals are also warm-blooded. Now that means that when we go into the ocean like this, we're going to get really cold. But our body's going to try to find a way to get our temperature back up because it wants to stay the same temperature inside. Now, if we go to the desert, it gets really, really hot. Really hot. I start to get all sweaty. That's because my body's trying to cool down to stay at that same temperature inside. Now, our whales, they're a little bit different. They're hanging out in this nice cold water, and they're not shivering like you and I would be. Instead, they have a nice thick fatty layer called blubber. Okay? And blubber in a blue whale can be that thick. That's a lot of blubber. But it insulates their body so that their body can stay the same temperature even though the water around them is really cold. So we've got air breathing, we've got hair, we've got nursing their young, we've got warm-blooded. Now, mammals also have live birth. That means they're not laying eggs in the ocean, right? Now, humans are air breathers that are born into an air environment, right? Whales are air breathers that are born underwater. Pretty crazy, huh? So there's a lot of challenges if you're a whale mom and you have to raise this baby who wants to just play around and swim, but you got to remind them they got to go up to the surface to take that breath. Now, we're going to check out a couple more videos of our whales to wrap up our trip here. But I think we had an amazing whale watch trip. We got to see orcas and humpbacks. Let's see if we can get our eyes on anything else. Go ahead, grab those binoculars. Oh, does anybody want to take a picture of this one? All right, get those cameras ready. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm going to cherish that photo forever. All right, let's see what other videos we've got coming. Got the binoculars? Let's look. Okay. Oh, whoa. Ooh, do you see that like disturbance over here? What is that? Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's more than one. There is more than one, my friends. There are more than one whales. And that makes sense because these last whales that we're going to take a quick look at are our California gray whales. And gray whales come along our coast during the winter months. So anywhere from like end of November, December into January, all the way through about April or so. Because whales like our California gray whales migrate from Alaska way up north down to Baja California. Now, it has to do with the fact that they are giving live birth, just like we talked about, those characteristics. Our baleen gray whale, so they have the hair-like structure, they don't have teeth, they like to go feed in Alaska. Alaska water is really cold, but it's also got a lot of nutrients. There's a lot of food in Alaska, right? It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet for our whales. But there's also a lot of predators. There's a lot of orcas, right? Killer whales. It's really cold water, and when you're having a baby, that can be complicated. So they swim all the way down our coastline to Baja down in Mexico, so Baja, California. And then they're going to have babies in the nice warm, shallow lagoons down in Baja. Sounds pretty great to me, right? That baby gets to be born on vacation. Then they swim together all the way back up the coast to feed in Alaska. So, longest migration of all of our whales we've talked about today, they can travel over 12 to 14,000 miles every year. But if you're local, and it sounds like a lot of you are, we had some people tuning in from San Diego. I know we've a couple people from Long Beach. Now, if you happen to be tuning in from somewhere else, maybe one day you'll get to see a gray whale as well. But my friends, we had an amazing virtual whale watch. Maybe one day I would love for our Squid Squad to all get together and get to see some of our gray whales. And on that note, we are going to end our whale watch with a beautiful sunset. So my friends, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about what it's like to be out on a boat, moving with the motion of the ocean, watching for those indicators, the birds, the splash from dolphins, and of course the blow from the large whales. We got to see the fluke of that humpback. We got to see a breaching orca. Holy moly, that was one of the best whale watches I've ever been on. All right, my friends, go ahead and put your right hand out. Put your left hand out. And give Cynthia, our captain, a wonderful round of applause. Epic whale watch. Again, come on back tomorrow. We're going to learn about sea turtles. Probably not going to go on a sea turtle watch, but we get to explore as much as we can and continue learning together as a Squid Squad. So thank you all so much for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow, Squid Squad. Bye-bye now.